Yo, what's good? It's your boy Dot from Dot Me Now Coaching and Entertainment. For coaching, my links are down below. I have several different spiritual readings down below. I have a Patreon down below. The Patreon so god dang fire. Oh, I have an astral projection course down below. Social media is down below. There's an email down below to email me if you have any questions. I can make a video for you and stuff like that. There's all kinds of stuff down below. Go check your boy out. In today's video, right, we are going to be talking about emptiness and impermanence. These are two Buddhist concepts, which they can be found in other places too, but they're two concepts which are heavily related to Buddhism. And they get very misunderstood, especially emptiness. Impermanence is more understood generally, but emptiness gets very misunderstood. You may think you know, but you may not know. So I'm gonna give you some sauce real quick. So real quick, like the video, subscribe if you're new, because I am gonna give out that fire. Let's start off first with emptiness, right? You see, people misunderstand emptiness. People misunderstand emptiness to kind of mean like to become hollow, to have nothing at all inside yourself, to have no thoughts, to have no emotions, to become to become completely empty. It's like being an emotionless shell. That's not what being empty means, right? So to be empty means that you're actually full of spirit, source, God, the Most High. That's what it actually means. And here's the reason why. When you say that something is empty, right, it's usually empty of something. So like a cup, right? If I have a cup that's empty, it's empty of liquid, but it still has air inside there. So when you say empty, it doesn't mean that there's nothing inside there. It means that it's empty of a certain thing. The cup is empty of water. But as soon as you empty the cup out with water, as soon as you empty the cup out and remove all the liquid, it instantly fills up with air. Now, when it comes to us, right, and us becoming empty, what exactly are we becoming empty of? We're becoming empty of the individual self. And then as we get rid of this illusion of having an individual and separate self, we instantly get filled with spirit, with God, the Most High. So to become empty actually means that you become full of spirit and full of God, because you get rid of your own ego. You get rid of your own separate individual self, and you realize that inside you, you contain all things, just like with everything else. You see, everything is empty, but their nature is all the same. So what that means is, whether I have this book right here, or I have this water bottle right here, these things are both actually empty, but they're also full of the same nature. Because if I go really deep into all of these, there is an individual self inside these. Yeah, it looks like a book, it looks like some water, but they're both made from God, from source, from the Most High. That's what people don't really understand. And this is actually seen inside Egypt. So you have the Egyptian tree of life, right? Which has different gods and goddesses on there, which are not actual beings. These are just different aspects of yourself and different aspects of reality. Now, at the top, right, like towards the pineal gland center, you have Shu and Tefnut. Now, Shu and Tefnut is space and the energy inside of space. Now, when you hit that point of the tree of life, right, it deals with having a clear perception, because the pineal gland is about having a clear perception on reality. When this happens, you notice the space inside everything, but also the infinite energy inside of it. So you hit a point where it's like, yeah, everything looks different, but really everything is empty of separation. And it actually contains the individual, my fault, and it actually contains the universal self and the universal energy. Last night, I was actually doing this, and I was kind of hitting that awareness, and it's like everything around me just felt so energetic, and it felt like I had the presence of God all around me, because God's source spirit is all around you, and it's inside of all things, because all things are actually empty. They have no individual self. They all have the highest self, God's source, the Most High, you know? And when you hit that level with the tree of life, it also helps you to always have energy, because it's like when you eat food, you're not just eating it for the calories and the nutrition, because the calories and nutrition come from source and come from spirit. When you recognize these things and can actually just perceive that pure spirit energy, this is when you get those masters that be living in the fucking East doing crazy shit. You know, they don't gotta eat. You know what I'm saying? They can just sustain themselves off pure spirit energy because it's all around them. Literally, it's all around them. You know, I actually made a video on my Patreon about the Zosmari. These are a certain group of ETs that live in the star Zosma. Now, with that being said, these beings don't have to eat, and they became highly immortal and gained crazy abilities. And the first thing they did was simply just realize that God, Source, the Most High, was all around them. I made a channel message about them on my Patreon, so you go check that out down below if you want to go see what that's about. But yeah, that's what it truly means to be empty. You know? So when trying to become empty, do not try to be like, oh, nothing is real. Oh, I am nothing, whatever the fuck. Because technically, like, you are nothing, but nothing literally is everything. You know what I'm saying? And they also mention stuff like how here's a practice that kind of helps you to see how all things contain everything, right? So that couch right behind me, right? When I see that couch, you could also see me in that couch. Now, here's what I mean. Couches are made for people to sit on. So a couch inherently has the nature of humans sit on this. But I could also see a cat because a cat could sit on it. You know what I'm saying? I also see the cotton. I see the people that picked the cotton. I see the cotton plant. I see the dirt which that plant came from. I see the water which fell on that dirt to grow that plant. I see the clouds. You know what I'm saying? You can look at one thing and then find everything inside of it. That flag, I see the people who made that flag. I see the mother and children of the people who made that flag. I see the hearts inside those people. I see the blood that pumps through the heart. You know what I'm saying? Inside of a small mustard seed, you can see the whole entire mustard plant. You know what I'm saying? You can see the people who are going to take care of that mustard plant. You know what I'm trying to say? So literally, by doing stuff like that, even if you see something like a crystal, right? I can see myself holding and using the crystal. I can see where this crystal came from, whatever cavern it came from. You know what I'm saying? I can see the people who mined up that crystal. I can see the freaking pickaxe that mined it. I can see the metal that made that pickaxe. By just looking at this one thing, I can see everything inside of it. So that's what emptiness really means. The fact that all things are empty of individual self. This is not just a crystal. This contains the people who made the crystal, people who mined the crystal cavern that it actually came from. Everything contains all things. And that links with impermanence in a certain way. So, but impermanence, right? People kind of get this one generally right, but they have the wrong attitude about it. So with impermanence, right? Impermanence states that nothing is permanent in life. You know what I'm saying? All things are going to change, right? Now, when people hear that, they see it as like, don't get attached because it's going to end anyway. Now, you shouldn't get attached to anything. That is true. But it shouldn't be like a sad thing like, oh, this moment's not going to last. This sucks. No, impermanence is actually the most beautiful thing ever, because if life was permanent and didn't change, you could not evolve. You change every day. When you evolve, you're changing. You know what I'm saying? And the only reason that there isn't permanence is because all things contain source and no individual self. If things had an individual self, it could become stagnant inside that individual self. But because you have source inside you, you can literally become all things. You can always change it to several different new forms. You see what I'm saying? So impermanence, right, is not something to like be like, oh my God, nothing's gonna ever last. Every moment is fleeting. I'll never be this happy again because this moment's gonna end. So therefore, I shouldn't be happy at all. No, you should actually embrace all moments. You should be very happy inside every moment. Don't mean you gotta be attached to it. It's just saying that nothing's gonna last. So I'm gonna only have this moment once. I'm gonna fucking enjoy that shit. And then tomorrow, a new moment might come that's gonna be even better. And without impermanence, there could be no evolution. There could be no growth within inside of life. You see what I'm saying? And the only reason things are impermanent is because all things are empty. They're empty of an individual self, and they contain source. Therefore, that source is always moving through them and evolving in several different ways and experiencing itself in multiple different forms and expressions. That's a beautiful thing. It should not be looked down upon. You know what I'm saying? So these are two Buddhist concepts that get very misunderstood, but I kind of summed it up in less than 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I'm gonna end the video right here. I have all my links down below. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video. I love you all. I'm gonna catch my next video. Peace the freak out.